Grand Rising, everyone. Happy Virgo Full Moon, happy Lunar Eclipse, and happy Blood Moon. There is so much energy happening today on March 13th and tomorrow on March 14th with this. It's coming through as like a boom of full moon activity, with it being the Virgo full moon, a lunar eclipse, and also a blood moon lunar eclipse. And we're all probably feeling it if we're connected to these energies already. And if you feel like your life is kind of spiraling into chaos, or there's been a whole bunch of shadow work thrown in your face that you thought you had dealt with before, or things just seem to be like plans going sideways, I'm hearing potentially right now, unexpected plans happening that you have to make arrangements for and get grounded in. This is all this lunar activity happening over the next 2 days. Eclipses, lunar eclipses, and a solar eclipse, which we have happening at the end of this month on the Aries new moon, are all ways, these massive portals for really great shadow work, which I know us in the spiritual community and those who know what I'm talking about are like, no, not the dreaded shadow work. But truly, these things are coming forward for us right now, potentially even being like pushed forward out of our own shadows so we can see them, so that we can work through them with the meticulous detail and grounded practical effort that the Virgo energy brings to this lunation. And one big message I kept on hearing for this full moon and the lunar eclipse and the blood moon is that this could be the end of overthinking for Virgos and other astrology signs alike if we let it. This energy of these shadows and unhealed areas bubbling to the surface right now is, I'm seeing it like held delicately in the hands of this Virgo full moon, because Virgo energy is this detail-oriented, meticulous, thoughtful energy that they were the ones, the Virgos were the ones in the old days that would chafe the wheat and remove the husks, because they were that detail-oriented that they could do it perfectly, and the wheat would be completely husked and edible without any of those inedible parts being processed in with what was eaten. And we can use that same tender, slow, thoughtful process to go through whatever shadow work, whatever healing, whatever triggers, whatever changes are coming forward for us with this new moon lunation, full moon lunation, lunar eclipse, and also blood moon. I've pulled 3 different moonology cards forward for this reading today, and I'm just going to get into them right now before I start pulling the other cards, because even the 3 of these cards together for this lunation today and tomorrow on the 14th of March have a story to tell just within them, and also advice to share and to receive if you so feel the call with their wording. First, we have the Virgo full moon of "You are good enough." You are good enough. And this is the full moon with the shadow work coming forward, with the eclipse, with the blood moon, to truly, really reflect on and meditate on that you are good enough, and really to look at, not attach to, not to obsess and overthink about, but to observe those old memories, those limiting beliefs that potentially led you to believe that you were not enough in the past, and to reclaim those energies and those beliefs, to transmute them with this eclipse energy, to know that you are good enough. Then we also have the other full moon card from the other deck I have, which is take inspired action. Take inspired action. Tap into the I am good enough where I am now. I am strong enough, beautiful enough, smart enough, wealthy enough. I have all I need. I am good enough with the resources I have now to take inspired action. I say this with love because I am Sun, Moon, Virgo, that we have a tendency to overthink and overanalyze and almost over-reflect to the point where we like, the actions are stuttered because we just spend so much time trying to build and accumulate this information and this knowing within that it stops us from taking the inspired actions we need to take to align to our highest good. And that's not just for Virgos, that's for any of these signs. Gathering information and gathering resources is only the first step of this process. Once you have that information and once you have that knowing in your heart, I'm hearing, and once you have the beginnings, that's when you take the inspired action to put forth your own effort, your own information, your own resources, because that's how it will build and grow. And this kind of feels like step 1 with knowing you're good enough, and step 2 with taking those inspired actions with the center of knowing that you were good enough. And then with the full moon eclipse, we have the message of conclusions are within reach. So for some of us, I'm hearing, if you're doing the work, as they say in the spiritual community, then your conclusions, this shadow work, this healing, this processing, this transmuting that we've been going through, the conclusions, the results, the outcomes of all of that are now within reach with the full moon in Virgo, lunar eclipse, blood moon happening over the next 2 days. And those 3 cards together really feel like steps that we can all take, whether they're big steps or little steps or internal steps or external steps. These are all steps that we can take and realizations we can make for ourselves to help us shift this energy. First, we realize that we're good enough and that we have is enough, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Overthinking, overfeeling, overanalyzing is not going to give you any more of what you already have. Potentially, that energy will just take it away with doubt that comes in, hesitation, delay, regret potentially. So you have enough. We all have enough physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We are all enough. And then we come here and we apply that feeling, that embodiment of we are enough, I am enough, you are enough, to take the inspired actions we need to take. And then after that, when you take the inspired actions from a place of knowing that you are enough, then lo and behold, the conclusions are within reach. Because you know that you're enough, you know what you've put forth is enough within that inspired action, so of course the conclusions are within reach. Because you've put forth enough, and you are enough. So there's nothing stopping it from coming to fruition or being released fully or being manifested with this full moon. And another message that's coming forward with full moon energy in general, and especially if we're doing trauma work or healing or transmuting limiting beliefs with this full moon and this lunar eclipse, to know that releasing is not always this energy of releasing the old, the bad, the ick. We do release the old, the bad, the ick, and we need to transform, to transcend, to grow, to heal, to move on. But we also release a whole bunch of positive energy in this world too. And that is also potential to be released in huge waves, I'm hearing, through this full moon in Virgo and all full moons. Think about it. Think about it, Virgo. If you're an artist, you have to release the painting or the artwork to finish it. If you're a musician, you have to release the album for it to be heard and received by others. Anything you wish to be received by others must first be released by you. And sometimes that's not always us needing to release what's negative or what's bad or what's holding us back. Sometimes it's we've been holding in this thing we hold so dear into our heart, and we treasure it and we keep it close to us like a mother hen. But even mother hen needs to let her chicks run free, needs to release them onto the grass so they can learn how to feed and grow and mature into healthy hens and roosters. So everything in this reality has a release, whether that's a release of pollen to germinate more plants, a release of trauma or healing so you can be free and more open within, whether that's a release of an album so people are sharing your artwork, or a release of belief systems so you can open your mind more and open your heart more. And that is a big message that's coming through for us with this full moon and any other full moon coming forward, is to know that release is also positive. It's not just about getting rid of the old or clearing out old belief system. It is also a positive aspect of any process, because positive things are also released into this world. Pregnancy. Think of someone who's a mother. She's got to release that. She's not going to stay pregnant forever, hopefully, so she's got to release that child into this world as well. And that is also, 1111, a form of release. So, with that message that we have the step 1, step 2, and step 3 of these energies, let's see what tarot cards and the other oracle cards have to say about this. I'm first going to go into my self-care deck to quickly see what self-care is in our highest good to tap into over these next few days and potentially the weeks leading up to the new moon and solar eclipse in Aries. So let's see, shutting my eyes, self-care. Oh, this one really wanted to just be a part of the party, so who am I to deny its request? Oh, yes, it is time to be kind to ourselves. Kind to ourselves, kind to each other, kind to everyone, kind to nature, kind to this earth. And know that you deserve this kindness because you are enough. You deserve this kindness because you are enough. And on the back of this card, it says, what if being kind to yourself really could change anything? What if being kind to yourself and finding yourself, knowing that you are enough, was all it took to shift that one belief of, I'm not enough, don't have enough, to I am enough, and it's literally changed and opened a gateway to love and abundance and beauty. Okay. What do the tarot cards have to say for us? Advice, well, hello, for this. They're jumpy. This lunation we have going on. Oh, this one really wants to say hello. And you know what? These two wanted to come up together, so I will honor you. And I'm just going to take one more 4. Okie dokie. So. Ooh. Why am I not surprised that card came forward? We'll get into her. Oh, wow. No wonder. I mean, eclipse seasons always bring big energy, and we have 2 major arcana cards on the table here. Ooh, I'm going to have to pull a 5th card for you. Oh, 3 major arcana cards. So, huge energy happening for us, huge messages coming through. And also, I'm hearing huge amounts of encouragement for all of us right now through these eclipse season energies that we're all going through. So, card number 1, unsurprisingly, is the Hermit. And I say unsurprisingly because the astrology connected to Virgo is the Hermit. And this taking inspired action is very much the energy of this specific Hermit card, because the Hermit is usually up on the top of a mountain or a hillside or a cliff, shining their light out and downward for all to see. But as you can see, this Hermit, she is her own light source. She definitely knows that she is enough. If she didn't know she was enough, she would not be shining like that. That is for sure. So she knows she's enough. She's done the work of trauma healing, shifting limiting beliefs, clearing negative self-thinking or self-talk, doing the self-reflection, doing the meditation, doing that inner work so she can shine so brightly. But it wasn't an easy ride. That's why it takes inspired action, because it usually has to come from within to push forward outward. And you can see here that she's climbed this entire staircase made of stone up to this mountaintop in the dark, dotting the path with her own energy as she went to get to where she is now, to this higher place of understanding, self-awareness, self-love, self-acceptance, self-realization, higher level of consciousness, higher connection. And not only has she walked that path in the dark, or maybe you have walked that path in the dark, but now you're at the top. And because you chose to take that inspired action, or are choosing to take that inspired action, now you are your own light source. That inner light, your heart, your love, is just radiating and illuminating outward naturally. Nothing is going to stop that light from shining, I'm hearing. And because you are your own internal and eternal light source, her external lantern that she had thought she needed, she's left at the base of the mountain. So that any and all who feel the call to walk this steep, dark path upward to higher awareness and higher understanding have a starting point already illuminated for them, and little dots like breadcrumbs of hope and inspiration and understanding to guide them and lead them up the mountain to be their own light and reflect and shine that own light for themselves. Then we have the Hanged Man, and this is another major arcana card like the Hermit. And the major arcana card of the Hanged Man is when we feel like this, suspended, maybe like our world has just been flipped upside down. Maybe stagnation feels like it's crept in and you don't know how to free yourself from it. These are all very common, I want to say, or understandable energies for eclipse seasons. It usually does kind of flip us upside down and shake us all about. But you can see, yes, she is suspended upside down. And she is in a state of stillness, but it's not stagnation. Just like she is in a state of stillness, but it's not stagnation. And while she's in this state of stillness, she is still being held up and fully protected by God, Goddess, Universe, Source, Divine, by her guides, by her own spirit, by her connection to that higher understanding. And now, again, she too has her own light that she is choosing to let illuminate her own understanding, her own mind, her own visions. That is the third eye that is illuminated in this card, which is the chakra energy center of understanding and awareness and imagination and visions coming through. Massive clarity coming through. And I love this specific Hanged Man, and they all have this meaning, but it's this energy of the human is stuck, but the heart and the energy is still in flow with the universe. And that is just so much yes. And she's even got a divine plan and order for all of this energy that's happening for her, even though she is in a physical state of balance and recalibration and is at the moment upside down. It's still all flowing forward, illuminating and connecting and releasing and intaking at the same time. Then we have the Knight of Cups, which is our only not major arcana on this table, but a very strong knight, I want to say. Not strong physically, potentially, but this Knight of Cups is more so the romantic, the hopeless romantic who sweeps you off your feet, who is in love with love, who romanticizes life, who wears their heart on their sleeve and follows the energy of their intuition and their emotions forward. All knights within the tarot deck are action and movement forward, and this is the slower flowing motion of like a river or a stream as opposed to something that is more raging and more rapid. This is motion that we can flow into over a matter of months if we choose. There is no rush. He is not someone who rushes. He is seated in this card. But you can see here by my fingers that there's also a little love letter from this lunation and from Source in this energy. So let's see. Oh, that one was like this one. So the letter we have from the Knight of Cups and Source for what we're experiencing right now, is the Queen of Swords. Interesting. So the Queen of Swords as an energy is very direct, very decisive, very intelligent, very logical, very swift in their actions and their speech. They can also be an energy or a personality who might be a little bit dry wit or have a sharp tongue and a very sharp mind, and very insightful and very wise. And what I'm hearing is, if you're feeling like this right now, you got that vision already activating. That third eye is already activating for you. So take the inspired actions that you're feeling called to take, that you might be romanticizing within your system right now, and then you activate them. Activate the vision through that romanticization and taking inspired action. And taking inspired action is so connected to the Knight of Cups as well. And then when you take that inspired action through the intuition and your emotion that you've been visualizing over here, then suddenly you're no longer upside down. Suddenly you're upright, firmly grounded. Your heart is protected from... it's coming through as outside forces, whether that's environment or people or just other beliefs. And you also have this keen vision for the future. This might also mean that we have someone, I'm hearing for some of us, this is coming through as receiving some sort of message or letter from someone who fits this type of energy. So if that is the case, that would be someone who is feminine identifying or feminine in energy, more so than being neutral or masculine. This would be someone who is either a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, as it is the Swords, and they would fit that description of being witty, being decisive, being very logical and intellectual, being kind of witty and sharp-tongued and sharp-minded. So, but truly, when you take the inspired action of the Knight of Cups, that is the message that awaits for you, is that you shift the feeling of being upside down and inside out into clear, grounded vision and understanding and clarity. Okay. And then the last card we have here for tarot is the Emperor, which is another major arcana card, which is another huge energy, and which makes perfect sense for everything we have here. Because the Emperor is all about personal power, personal authority, personal sovereignty, being the ruler of your kingdom or queendom or reality in your life, and tapping back into that kindness of knowing you are enough. The Emperor certainly knows he is enough. He knows he is Emperor. And then using that understanding of I am enough, I am sovereign, I am ruler of this reality, my choices, my mind, my emotions, I am sovereign. Then that's what brings the flow of energy through. So it no longer feels like it's not going anywhere, but now it's flowing through into the future. That was a little bit of a tongue twister. But this is a really beautiful message and a really inspiring and encouraging message for this lunation, because it can feel intense and it can definitely bring up these ego mind limiting beliefs and questions of, am I enough? Is it time? and get that overthinking, spirally wheel of infinite questions and curiosities and needing to gather. It's like I'm seeing the image of like when like a hamster or a rodent has like all of like the seeds or food like in its cheeks, and it's like, but it's still like trying to like shove more in. That's what we do to our brains when we overthink. We just like cram in until some of us even get headaches or neck aches about it because we're cramming and cramming, but our mind is full. So we gotta find that outlet through visualizing and romanticizing the things that are making us overthink. And then when we shift from overthinking to romanticizing to visualization to reflection, then that's when the inspired action that is being called for with this lunation comes through. Aries is connected to the Emperor as well. So potentially this lunation might be connecting into that part of your chart, or it's just a general call for all of us to tap into that passionate, driven, ambitious, sovereign authority that Aries and Emperor are. All right, a couple more cards and then we will call it a day. I'm going to go into this oracle card to see what other positive energies are surrounding us right now for this Virgo full moon, blood moon, lunar eclipse we have today and tomorrow. Whoa. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, there's quite a few. I'm going to take them all because they all feel relevant for us. I'm going to go through them a little bit more quickly though. So we start here with a voyage. We are all voyaging, and this is a voyage that maybe we are connecting back into those calm, still waters of our heart, into our emotion, into our intuition. If this was a card of overthinking, which it's not, that ocean would be like big white cap waves sinking ships. But when the mind is calm, the heart is calm. And when the heart is calm, the mind can be calm. And oceans and water always symbolize your emotions and your feelings. And so let the illumination of your emotions clear the fog of your vision, because it is ready to shine bright. And just as little baby humpback whale is being protected by mother, we are also held up by source, God, goddess, universe, divine, through all of this and ongoing. The message I said in the planetary alignment video, which was my last one, about God being beside us, loyal, still remains. Because he's that energy, whether it's God, goddess, universe, source, divine, whatever higher frequency that you resonate with, it never leaves, but sometimes when we feel like we're going through it, we push it away. We're the ones that cloud the light. Its light never dims. And we also have community coming forward for us right now. So maybe we do have a whole bunch of really beautiful, strong, loving energies coming through for us right now to help us through these energies. I'm hearing we are not alone in this. We are not alone in this. Reach out, I'm hearing. Reach out. And let that assurance that you are protected and provided and being held up through these energies and changes and transformations sink in. We also have the energy of a gateway happening for us. Not just any old gateway. You're not like walking under the overpass on the street. This is a magical, literal gateway. So unique and divine with this Virgo full moon, lunar eclipse, blood moon trinity happening, that it is literally magic. Magic and unique and rare and unique and as magical as you are and as I am. When we tap into the I'm enough, look at the gateway that opens. Look at the gateway that opens with kindness to yourself and to others and to this planet. and to release what is stopping you from walking through this gateway, and to also release the kindness that we all need right now. Then we have two really powerful cards that I feel are through this gateway. I'm hearing potentially by mid next week. So I'm putting this out today on the 13th of March, and the lunation is from today until tomorrow. So mid next week, potentially you will be really feeling these energies of passing through this gateway. And that is the energies of miracles and love blooming bright and blue and clear in the blue skies. And look at, we have these two rainbows here. And rainbows are always a sign from God or goddess that the flood is over. It's a promise. Rainbows are a promise of miracles to come. So whenever you see a rainbow on a card and artwork in real life and it just stands out to you and it touches your heart, you get to claim that as a sign from God that the flood is over and that miracles are coming through. And not just any miracles, miracles of beautiful, naturally blooming love. Love for yourself through shifting into kindness and understanding and knowing that you are enough. Beautiful, blooming love for other people in our lives, for our lives in general, for our environment, for this planet, for this community, for this community. Look, more rainbows. The community that I'm hearing, the community that you're attached to right now, that you're receiving these like loving energies from, are literally like miracle family members for you. They might not be physical, literal blood family members for you, but they are miracle family community members for you. And they're going to transform through you and for you as you allow yourself to release and transform. So much going on, so much energy, so much beauty and love waiting for us when we decide we are good enough to step through, which we have always been good enough to step through. We have always been good enough to step through. You were never not good enough. If any negativity needs to be released, it is the overthinking and the thinking of not good enough, because this lunation is saying loud and clear that you are good enough. You are good enough. One last card to tap into what energies are manifesting, being released in a positive way through this Virgo full moon, Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse on today, March 13th, and tomorrow, March 14th, with a potential affirmation that you can choose to say or think to yourself to maybe replace those negative thoughts and feelings about being not good enough and help you cross through into the land of kindness, love, and miracles. And I'm just going to go with you. And we have energy. Yes, so if you feel like you've been depleted, maybe you just got to the top of this mountain and you're like tapping out for a little while because that was a lot and a half. We have energy, and look at the card number 13, as in today, as in the full moon in Virgo, lunar eclipse, blood moon, coming in strong. Hello, thank you. 13 is also the number of the divine feminine trinity, which is the witch trinity of matron, mother, and maiden. And 13 is also a number of stability and balance and structure and control. 13 is 4, and 4 is the number of the Empress, or the Emperor card. And this guy knows, again, all about strong, powerful, sovereign energy. And so if you feel like you want to tap into this energy, you want to bring it through in a more conscious, intentional way, you can repeat this affirmation, say it to yourself, think it to yourself, write it down, and really channel it through you to bring it through for others. And it is a light a light inside my fire divine, energy fill me and make me shine. I just need to do this, sorry. Do 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 do. Look at this. A light inside my fire divine. Energy fill me and make me shine. That is so beautiful and so precious, and exactly what we all need right now is to tap into this divine fire, this inner illumination to help us shine through, release the positive, the negative, and the in-between into a line and pass through this gateway of kindness, of love, of understanding to become who we are meant to be in this lifetime. Who we know when we meditate and self-reflect with love and kindness and compassion for ourselves and for those in our community, then we are aligned with our highest good and that timeline and that pathway. And we have no issues crossing this gateway into the magical, unique, beautiful miracles that await. That is the message for this lunation, the Virgo full moon, blood moon, lunar eclipse that is today on the 13th of March and also tomorrow on the 14th of March, depending on your area that you're located in. I hope this reading resonated for you. I hope it inspired you and filled you with that fire divine that is waiting to be flourished and bloom and grow within you, so that beautiful love that can naturally bloom will as well. And don't worry if that fire feels like it's a raging bonfire right now, because it is only going to clear and release what is not meant for you. Everything that is meant for you will always find you, but we have to find it within first. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and week ahead, and I will see you in my next video. Namaste.